Hey everyone, a little message for my fellow creative people. So I received this message from this young artist last week on Instagram. It was a private message and she was basically asking for some advice on how to succeed, and she pretty much seemed baffled by the whole idea of, can you make money as an artist? Can you do it? Further, she was basically having some struggles wondering, like, is it even worth even pursuing? Can you do anything with your art? So I wanted to offer some advice that kind of was inspired by the conversation I had with her on Instagram. And here's the hard truth. I really don't know if those feelings of insecurity and doubt and uncertainty will ever go away completely. I know for me, I experience it pretty regularly where I feel like some days I'm crushing it, my career's doing great, my art is flowing, everything's smooth, and the next day or the next hour, I'm like, oh, maybe I should change careers. I suck at art. I should be doing something else. I have so many other skills I can apply, and so those things I think never really go away. And I know a lot of artists, musicians, and creative people. A lot of them are very successful, and pretty much all of them that I've spoken to have these types of insecurities and these doubts and these worries. Even people with money that I know, people with tons of money still worry, will it all be taken away? So I feel like the idea that somehow those things can be just taken away, as far as like those worries can just vanish and evaporate magically, I really don't think they can. And maybe the harder thing to understand is I really don't think they should go away. I think that your insecurity can really be a tool for you, a really powerful driving force. And I don't think I'd want to make all those worries banish to some forgotten kingdom, even if I could wave a magic wand and do so. Insecurity can be a big jerk. Insecurity can be painful and really weigh on you and be terrible, but if you can be willing to just listen and just let your insecurity blabber away without feeling judged or pressured, I think there's sometimes messages within the insecurity and within those doubts. Sometimes they point out your weaknesses, sometimes they point out things that need work, and sometimes they just make you aware of parts of your personality that are trying to nag on you, things that you should work through in therapy or meditation. But don't confuse those feelings and those worries with who you are. So I think some important questions to ask if you're having these types of worries or concerns are, why do you really want what you want? If you want to be an artist or a writer, a musician, an entrepreneur, a fitness guru, why do you really want it? And really think about that. Why do you want it? What is it going to do for you? Let's say tomorrow you wake up and you have all these great things. So then what? The next thing I'd ask, or have you ask of yourself, is how badly do you want it? And really be honest. And the last thing is kind of goes along with that is, are you willing to do whatever it takes? I think a lot of people see artists, entrepreneurs, creative people, parents, business owners, and they think that they got everything they got overnight. And they don't see the years of sacrifice and struggle and concerns and worries. And are you willing to do whatever it takes? I know for me, my career, I'm very grateful for it, but it's taken a lot of work. And I would never hide that fact from anyone. It's not always easy. It never has been always easy, but I'm willing to do whatever it takes. So I'd like to offer some advice that may or may not help you. I hope it does help some of you. The first piece of advice based on the conversation that I had is, if you're primarily focused on money, your art or your work, whatever it is that you're passionate about, will suffer, period. Most of us worry about money, and I'm definitely included in that. I definitely have my concerns with money. We all do, I think. But when you're creating your work, your art, your passion, when you're doing your thing, don't put that kind of pressure on yourself or your talent. Put those things aside. Trust me, your Your money worries and your concerns will be there for you when you get back. The next piece of advice is your art is not there to serve you. You're there to serve it. Don't let your ability to hold a paintbrush or play a chord in your guitar fool you. You are not in charge. You're just there. You know, I'm just there as a medium for the inspiration that I get. And I wouldn't be fooled to think that I'm some sort of a genius. None of us are. We're just there humbly to serve. Our talents are gifts, and like any gift, we should be thankful for them. We should take care of them and willing to share them. And when it feels like your work is more work than art, it's no longer your art. It's no longer your passion. So to this woman that emailed me, messaged me on Instagram and was worried about money, I totally get it. But if money is your concern, if money is your biggest worry, then become an expert on money. God knows there's enough experts and gurus on finances out there. If that's your known weakness, then get good at it, right? So let me just leave you with a few other things. Some of these notes I took, which I'm sharing with you, are why did you start making art in the first place? And if art is not your thing, maybe yoga is, or rock climbing, or surfing. Why did you start it in the first place? If you feel your passion being lost, get back to those reasons. Start doing things that are not important, that are not urgent. Go buy a coloring book, learn a new song on guitar. For Christ's sake, go buy a guitar. Have fun. Things will happen. And take some of the expectations off of yourself, right? We all do things thinking like I have to be the best, or I have to get better than I was yesterday or the week before, or, you know, if I don't achieve something with what I'm doing, then it's a waste. That's a bunch of bull. Do your thing. Do it because it's fun, right? Lastly, I'd like to say that if you can imagine doing anything else for a living besides your creativity or besides your passion, you should probably do it. But if you're like me and you just can't imagine doing anything else, then you better be willing to fully commit to it. For me, art is a relationship, and if you strain your relationship with money worries and you're not fully into it, it's going to fail. And there's no room for these poor me stories. Put on your grown-up underpants and get to work. I'd like to leave you with a quote from one of my favorite new shows, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. It's spoken by Lenny Bruce's character in the show. I don't think he actually said this. Maybe he did, but it's a quote from the show, which is amazing. He said, if someone said, Leonard, you can either eat a guy's head or do 2 weeks at the Copa, I'd say pass the fucking salt. Right? So working for yourself is a tough gig, and succeeding in the arts is especially hard as boop, blank. It's rare, but it's very possible. Statistically, most entrepreneurs are going to fail. 9 out of 10 businesses will fail. And some people, for most people, that should be enough reason to just stop and try something else. To me, though, all I see is that if I'm willing to fail 9 times, I'll achieve victory on the next try. So I hope that it helped some of you. I hope that you share this if you found it helpful, and I look forward to your comments. See you guys.